Good morning and a warm welcome to our viewers and our karting enthusiasts all over the world. Welcome and thank you for joining us at the South African National Challenge. It's a Rotax Max Challenge. It's a karting championship, and this is round 2 of 4 that we have in South Africa for 2022. We've started off, our first national challenge was down at the Kalani circuit in Cape Town, and for second round we're here in Benoni, Joburg. It's at the Formula K track. It's a fairly new track. It was only completed in 2019, and so the drivers aren't too familiar with this track, which is going to make for some interesting driving. The track temperatures today are fairly cool. It's been a chilly 6 degrees and with a maximum expected of 15 degrees. And so the motors are going to want to perform out there, but the tires are probably going to do a bit of squealing. There's a lot of rubber going down. It's going to be exciting and competitive. Our track director today, event director, is Roger Stephen. Our assistant COC is Mitch Kutsia. And our clerk of the course, the man of the moment, is Adrian Wood. And I'm hoping to catch up with him a little bit later. Hopefully he's not going to be too busy giving out penalty documents to our drivers. Those of you who want to get involved in karting, you need to register with WAMZA. That's the World of Motorsport ZA. Once you register with them, you get yourself a kart and you get out on the track. Those of you who have a favorite driver and aren't able to be in Benoni today, you can follow the live times on racemonitor.com or on speedhive.mylaps.com. Those are the two apps, and they're reliable in giving you your favorite drivers' best times. We're going to look forward to some competitive driving, and hopefully you'll join us for the entire day here on a chilly 26th of July 2022 in Benoni.
We're back on track now with DD2 Masters and Veterans about to make their way out for the first time. Nick Verhel, Alistair Mingay, Frikkie Cornelius. We've got Jonathan Caruso out there, Felipe Chapat, Derek Joseph. Those are our veterans. Jonathan Peterson and John Kruger, another one of the vets. We got for Connor Hughes, and Eugene Brits fighting for honours now in our DD2 Masters and Veterans. Verhel and Brits on the front row. Peterson and Chapat are 3 and 4. Connor Hughes is there in the fifth place. Watch out for Verhel and Brits now off the line. DD2s, this of course is a geared kart. So 2-speed box in this machine, going to give you a little bit of a run for your money. And these guys are going to just warm the track up for our DD2s who will be out just after this. There's a 10-lapper coming your way. First heat of the day here coming out of Formula K and round 2 of Rotax Max Challenge South Africa. Time to drop the hammer and drop down the hill from Beverly Hills Boulevard into the left-hander at turn 1, down towards the dam for the first time. Looks like it's Brits who's got the whole shot. Eugene Brits just ahead. I think it's Brits. No, it's not by the looks of things. A bit of a change up there possibly as they come through there. Is it 199? No, it is Brits. Brits who's got the whole shot. And what a move there, coming through the field rapidly. Watch out for some big changes here in the veterans and masters combined. And come through into turn number 1 now for the first time. I've got director in my ears as well, so I've still got you there, Neil. If you, there you go. Thanks, buddy. DTM Film Services in the house, giving us all the action here today. And I could hear Neil telling the cameras where he wants to go, bringing all this action on YouTube. And of course, we've cross-posted it and shared it onto a couple of the Facebook pages as well. So if you are out there in the world of our live stream feed, a big welcome to all of you here to what has been a fantastic day's racing so far at Formula K. Round 2 of the Rotax Max Challenge South African Championships for 2022. A full field out there as well. 10 karts in our Veterans and Masters. Brits from Chapat. Verhel is down to 3rd. Peterson's on his tail with Frikkie Cornelius there in 5. Derek Joseph and Mingay came through for 6 and 7. Kruger, Caruso, and of course Connor Hughes at the back end of this 10-strong field of Veterans and Masters. Would have been really cool to have these guys mixed up, of course, with the DD2s, but then again, some of the DD2 guys fight so hard and they put on a little bit of a scare for these slightly elderly statesmen. Front end of the field would have loved the challenge. And most of the times in the past, we've seen the Masters category combined with DD2s, and some of the Masters drivers actually giving the DD2 drivers a bit of a run for their money.
DD2 Masters and Vets out on circuit. Now, DD2 competitors, please make your way to the blue road.
We do see the live chat that's happening on YouTube as well, and noting some of those comments. Thanks very much for your comment there, Stephen. We will have a chat and see, and maybe we can get a couple of shots of the drivers as they're celebrating their victories. Of course, we do appreciate the amount of effort that is put in from every single one of the competitors out there as they go to race and gain the victories. But of course, we are on a couple of we don't have a full contingent of cameras here. We're giving you as much of the action as we can, and the DT Film Services crew doing everything they can to bring you all the action that happens out on track. So that comment is noted, Steve. Thanks for that. And we'll see whether or not we can get that to you on the next couple of heats for the race action. So at the front end, Eugene Brits just grabbing hold of that mix and trying to get it richened up ever so slightly. Yeah, we are on the high felt, and of course it's a slightly higher height above sea level that these guys are racing at compared to Idubi, where they've raced in the past. When they get down to Idubi, of course, they get a little bit of extra power because of the sea level aspect of that circuit. But brilliant to see the amount of effort that's been put in here. And I've got to say, the first time I've ever been to Formula K was today, and this circuit and the facilities is world class. And you can see why the guys want to come and race national championship events here at the circuit. Out front though, they're all going to try and catch Eugene Brits, who controls things for now and completes another lap now ahead of Nick Verheul, who's moved up to second place. He's left Jonathan Peterson ever so slightly there in his wake, down in third place. But the Masters now showing the way around and pulling away now from our leading veteran, Felipe Chapat, who is up in a fourth place ahead of Fricky Cornelius and Alistair Mingay. Mingay, of course, is a master. Derek Joseph is one of the veterans, so the slightly elderly statesman, mixing it up there for what is 4, 5 and 6 place on track. Nick Verheul closing things down now on the 199 of Eugene Brits, poster boy for this event. So a really cool shot they put up of him on the poster to promote this event. But it's Brits and Verheul now, similar lap times. In fact, fastest lap on the last race, of the last lap I should say, came from Nick Verheul. Verheul down into 105.8 ahead of Brits' 106.3. So that's where things could change up there. Peterson in third place, Felipe Chapat, Cornelius in the 5 spot at this point in time as another lap is completed. And looks like a little bit of a turnaround here. Is there a change up on the laps? No, 106 is out of both of the lead cards. Verheul still quickest on a 0.27 as opposed to the 0.63 coming from the leader. So he's just minding his way at the moment, is Nick Verheul. Waiting for a chance now to try and pounce and get ahead of Eugene Brits. I saw Bjorn Roos on the sidelines as well here at the circuit. I'm sure he'd be loving life, mixing it up here with the veterans and masters in DD2s, but deciding to look after his team for today. I'm sure that he would love to have an opportunity to climb into one of these DD2s to have a go here with both Brits and Verheul. He had a fantastic run in the first outing, of course, of this championship. Right now, it's Verheul on the attack, Brits on the defensive. And Brits is concerned. He's been looking over his shoulder on numerous occasions. He can hear that second kart, the CRG, right in his mix and putting pressure onto him. So it's Saudi kart out front, CRG in second. And in third place at the moment, it's the Tony kart. So all the manufacturers represented here and the chassis manufacturers represented in the first 3. Felipe Chapat, of course, is driving in the Ricardo kart machine. So he's out there leading things out in the veterans category. We've actually got almost every single one of the chassis manufacturers involved in this DD2 veterans and masters category. Tony Kart and Jonathan Peterson, I mentioned. Johan Kruger is running in the Burrell Art. And you've also got Connor Hughes in the Cosmic. So everybody getting an opportunity to get a bit of fair share there. The pressure's definitely being placed onto Eugene Brits. He's soaking it up admirably. Not too concerned about the fact that he is having to work as hard as most of these drivers had to work if you're at the front end, particularly here in Formula K. And over there just to get the little bit of a richer mix up the hill. Trying to get the advantage now gained as he comes through the left and the right hand sweep. It's a right flick and then down the hill onto what I like to sort of call our Beverly Hills Boulevard here. It's where the facilities are here at the circuit, the restaurant where we're commentating from, just above that start-finish line area. And of course down to the dam section. That's where these karts are in full flight. Almost the same as what you'd get at Thunderdome. at DD2. Big right-hand flick, double right-hander there. Of course, Thunderdome is a triple left right-hander at the DD2 circuit, but on a similar vein in terms of what the karts can run at almost top speeds on a right-hander. Pushing those mojos to the limit for traction, particularly in the cool conditions we've got here today. Certainly has been a fantastic battle so far amongst all of the competitors that we've seen. Of course, this is the penultimate of the first heats of action. DD2 Vets and Masters. Up next, we've got DD2s. And then we'll have a small lunch break before we get into the heats 2 and 3 of all the categories that we've seen in action so far here today. And I'm sure glad that you guys are enjoying all the action out on track. We've got a nice field of competitors. We've got some nice sideline spectators in the house as well coming to Formula K. And of course, we're going out on our YouTube stream and Facebook streams to the world, showing us what South African karting is all about. And these two names are synonymous in South African karting, particularly in this category, DD2s and the DD2 Masters. Brits and Verhaal now fighting hard, coming up on some back markers. And that could potentially change things up here with a couple of laps to go. Are we going to see this back marker affect the battle for the lead? Or will they be out of harm's way? Being the back marker, basically the rule is hold your line and let the faster karts find a way past you. Maybe there's enough time there for them to catch him on the straightaway, which will allow him to get out of harm's way there. It is Jonathan Caruso who's coming up, about to be lapped. Connor Hughes with some issues. He's had to pull into pit lane. So the Cosmic is out of this first race. Another lap down there for these guys. It's a 10 lapper for the DD2 Masters. And Brits and Verhaal going at it here big time. Verhaal now a little bit more serious, applying the pressure onto that Saudi kart. And yeah, 188 is the man being caught there. Connor Hughes just moves out the way. Great bit of driving there. Realizes that the faster karts are coming through. Makes it stick relatively easily as they come through now into the twisties. Oh, using the curbs a bit now as well. Getting a little bit more serious in terms of the action that's being applied and supplied here for the lead of this one. Fantastic to see just how hard these guys are working. They try and stay off the curbs as much as possible. The curbs usually hurt the karts, but both of them getting up and up close and personal onto that inside curb out of that twist back, the switchback section. So now heading into the latter part of this race. Just waiting to see how many laps we've got to go there as they cross the line. 0.176 of a second between the top two. Down to Peterson in third, a little bit further, bigger gap. 3.5 seconds down to that third place man. But the first three karts all coming out of the Masters category. Masters karts up for grabs here, and any one of these top two can take it. So it's Brits who's controlled things from the front literally the whole race. Has a look over his shoulder. He realizes that there's a little bit more pressure being applied now onto the back end by the 101 machine of Nick Verhaal. So it's Verhaal versus Brits. Verhaal getting a slightly wrong line there through the switchback. Now heading to the top of the hill. Brits has opened the wick up. He's decided, right, let's put the hammer down. Let me get away here if I can. And you can see just how hard he's pushing to get away. He's pulled 2-3 kart lengths. That might be enough to control things to the line. It's Brits from Verhaal, and Verhaal's got no answer. He's trying to close that gap down again. He does under braking to the top of the hill. Comes right back almost under the gearbox there as Brits heads down the hill again to complete the last, I think, of the last of the laps here. Coming to the line. Yes, indeed. There you go. Brilliant stuff as he puts his head down. It's Brits from Verhaal. Jonathan Peterson will take third place, and that'll be the top three in the Masters class. Felipe Chapat will come through to take the veterans, and that is a great little battle that raged all race long. Superb race action from our DD2 Masters and veterans as they wrap up their first heat of the day. We stand by for DD2s on track shortly.
with me here Jonathan Peterser. He's from KZN. He's a DD2 master. He's got a 3rd national ranking this year, and he's just come in 3rd behind Eugene and Nick. Not your home track, Jono. How are conditions out there today?
Yeah, they change in every session, so that's what's made it quite tricky to try get on the pace. So at the moment we're struggling, but we'll go and chip away and dig away and look at the data and see what we can do and come back stronger next one, hopefully.
Yes, absolutely. All the best. KZN's rooting for you. Right, I've got a DD2 master here, Fricky Cornelius, qualified 6th in kart 121.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed. What's your home track? I don't have those details.
Swartkops. We mainly practice at Swartkop. Obviously, I'm in the Rand region, so we obviously use Swartkops and FK.
So you do know this track? It's not your home track though?
No, it's not my home track, but I do know it, yes.
Well, your kart is obviously set up very well. You're qualifying 6, you're strong, you're in contention.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, all the best for Heat 2 and 3.
Thank you very much.
Straight back into the action now as DD2 Masters and Veterans make their way onto the circuit for their second heat of the day. The fight at the front end was between the top 2 competitors in this category, and Nick Verheul and Eugene Brits will be going at it again here for the DD2 side of things from the Masters point of view. Let's see if they can do it all again. Hopefully Jonathan Peterson will be able to stay a little bit higher up than what he did in the first one. He just couldn't bridge that gap between those top 2 to stay with them initially. There was a nice fight as well between Fricky Cornelius, Jonathan Cairuz and Felipe Chapat to take the veteran side of this category. Expect to see more of the same between them as well here in race number 2 of DD2 Vets and Masters combined. Verheul and Brits on the front row. This time it's Nick Verheul who's got the pole position. Brits in 2nd, Peterson there in 3rd. There's going to be a fight on here as well. Watch out in the background for the likes of Johan Kruger, Connor Hughes as they come across the line. Heading down towards turn 1. Is it going to be Brits or Verheul who get the whole shot out of turn 1? It looks like it is Brits who hits the front. Brits controls things. Verheul into 2nd. 3rd place is Peterson by the looks of it, and then just in behind that would be I think Ricardo of Felipe Chapat, who leads out the veteran side. On Chapat's tail looks like Jonathan Cairuz also in there as well. No, Cairuz right at the back, so not quite the start he wanted. As they come up towards the switchback section for the first time, Brits and Verheul trying to get away there from Peterson. Tony Cart of Peterson trying to stay with him this time, doesn't want him to get away. Has to try and keep onto the back end of those top 2 if he wants to stay in the hunt for a possibility of a win. He's taken a podium in race number 1, but the win would be definitely what he's aiming for here as they cross the line to complete lap 1 of 10. 107.3, 107.4, 107.8 for the first 4. Peterson is that 3rd close kart. The Tony Kart chassis looking for a way to close that gap down. He has just closed it under braking though. And now we've got Saudi versus CRG versus Tony Kart. First 3 all Masters. 2nd pack and 2 karts in that pack coming out of the veterans category. Led out at the moment by Felipe Chapat. Fricky Cornelius, I think, is the man just behind him in the CRG. As we go back to some aerial material here from our drone. Heading around the outside of the switchbacks and now heading towards the top end of the circuit again to complete a lap in anger here in Heat 2 of DD2 Veterans and Masters. S-bend is a really awesome shot there from the aerial material, showing you just how tight that corner is. So Brits, Verheul, Peterson, that's your top 3, and they stay top 3 as they cross the line. Brits under a bit more pressure though, as Verheul had a look on the inside of turn 1. He's going to lose out because he'll be on the outside for turn 2. Tries to get the cut back to get up into turn 3. Is he good enough on the brakes? Yes, he is. Verheul hits the front for the first time. Brits down to 2nd. Peterson now looking to try and pounce on both of them. Make them pay while they're fighting so hard.
And our DD2 Masters out on the circuit already for 3 laps.
Here comes Brits trying to come back at them though. Really looking for an opportunity here to try and get back as early as possible. Cannot afford to lose ground there to Nick Verhel. Nick Verhel, oh, what a move. Brits late on the exit and the attempt to get through to first. Didn't quite work out. Cheeky move there from Eugene Brits, nearly paid off, just wasn't able to make it stick though. Now they come out of XPS heading back up to the top of the hill again. Watch for Brits on the inside, just tries to richen the mix up as well as he comes out of the top end through the S-bend. Back down, left, right flick into the right-hander. And that is another lap completed there, so fights on. And it's certainly a lot closer there between the top three masters in DD2. Chapat from Connor Hughes. Hughes in the Cosmic Chassis there, up to 5th place now. Wide line coming out of Eugene Brits, loses a little bit of ground there to the leader, but he fends off the attack coming from Jonathan Peterson. Nice little fight on here between these top three. Very evenly matched, lap times are almost identical. It's all up to skill, all up to race strategy here from these top three. What can they do?
This is final call for DD2 competitors.
Brits now pulled slightly away from Peterson and right onto the tailpiece of Nick Verhel. Nicholas Verhel could be in big danger here. Down towards turn 2, expect a maneuver here from the slipstream effect gained onto the boulevard. 1/10 between the top two, half a second between all three of them. Nothing in it between these three carts for the Masters side of DD2. Verhel controls things from the front. Brits might be hanging back slightly. So apologies there for the break in proceedings on our live stream as well as on the live commentary. You heard from Jeff in between saying that there was a power supply issue, and unfortunately it looks like somebody might have plugged into the power supply. They had completed about 4 of the 10 laps, so potentially a 6-lap sprint race being touted here, and then a combination of the two to confirm what will happen for race heat number 2 here of DD2 Vets and Masters. We'll get confirmation of that as soon as we can. Looks like we're back in racing here at Formula K for the 3rd time in heat number 2 for DD2 Masters and Veterans combined. Carts heading down towards turn 3 and 4, and it's remains the same as what they finished up in the 2nd attempt to restart this after some power issues here at the circuit. Still leading things out, Nick Verhel from Eugene Brits and Jonathan Peterson. Felipe Chapat under a bit of pressure. Look at the pressure being applied there from Jonathan Peterson's point of view. Going at it, banging there with Eugene Brits coming out of turn 3 and 4. Going into the switchback now, and out of 5 and 6 they come, and opening up a margin now, and giving Nick Verhel a chance to get away. So you cannot afford to be banging bars so early on, particularly on a restart 3. It looks like Eugene Brits has lost out a huge amount of ground there due to the fact that he was putting out a little bit more pressure than what he had been all race long from Jonathan Peterson as they came into the switchback section. Coming out of the S and down to complete the lap. Let's see how many laps we've got to go here as they cross the line. Our timekeepers will tell us exactly how much time we've got to go as they come across the line there. Verhel from Brits, Peterson. 1.8 seconds there between Verhel and Brits. That's the biggest margin that Nick Verhel has had over Eugene Brits all day long. And that was due to Brits and Peterson coming together out of turn 5 and 6 into the switchback. So Verhel now going to try and control things. They're on, it's a 2-lap sprint they've been given here, according to what I've got on my timing monitor. So it looks like we've got, this is the final lap. They're going to give them 2-lap sprint race to sort this all out. That's why Jonathan Peterson was pushing so hard. He realized he had to get ahead of Eugene Brits right from the get-go, otherwise there was going to be some issues. Verhel has stayed out of harm's way and is on his final lap headed to the checkered flag. So it'll be a combination of race 2's first start, second start and third start to make up what is going to be Heat 2's results. It'll take a little while for them to work that all out, but Brett and his timekeeping guys downstairs, the gurus, will get it all sorted out, I'm sure, and get that to us before the start of their 3rd and final heat later on. Nick Verhel comes across the line. Checkered flag is out. He takes the 2nd victory here in Heat 2 of DD2 Veterans and Masters combined, and it's Felipe Chapat who will take the win in the Veterans side of things down in 4th place overall. Connor Hughes, Alistair Mingay, Fricky Cornelius and Jonathan Kairouz just dropping down behind Derek Joseph there, and Johan Kruger make up the top 10. So it's Verheul from Brits and Pieterse, Connor Hughes and Mingay, your top 5 in the Masters. Felipe Chapat, Fricky Cornelius, Derek Joseph and Jonathan Kairouz, Johan Kruger, your top 5 in the veterans.
Right, I've got with me Eugene Brits. He's cart number 199. He's a DD2 master, and currently he's ranked 1st in South Africa for 2022. Highly contested Formula K track. Nick Verheul's giving you a hard time here, but we've got another heat to go. So tell us about your day and what you plan to do in heat 3 to get ahead of Nick.
Cool. So yeah, first heat was good. I feel like we've got a longer run pace on Nick, so he's very quick over 1 lap, and it showed there after the restart. Our tyres were just coming in, the kart was getting better, and they red flagged it, so then he got away with the 2-lap sprint at the end. But it's cool, we got 1 more heat to go, so just got to keep it like that and see what we can do.
Okay, yeah, just for our viewers, we had a technical issue and the timing went off, and so they had to stop the Masters race, the DD2 Masters, so that they could get the timing accurate, because we know it's not that Eugene came second, it's if his time is quicker in heat 2, he lands up in pole in heat 3. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, so I actually check. I think we were quicker in the beginning, so I'll have a look now where we start for heat 3. But yeah, it's been tight between me and Nick. It's been awesome. So, and Jono also gave a little bit of a nudge there in that second one. So yeah, hopefully we can get away and pull away in the front.
Excellent. All the very best for heat 3.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, I've got with me here not the DD2 Masters class, which is age 32 and up. I've got here the DD2 Veterans. This is a new league that's been organized. And if you can just introduce yourselves to us and let us know how your day is going.
Right, I'm Philippe Chapat.
Jonathan Kairouz,
Johan Kruger,
Fricky Cornelius.
Derek Joseph.
We call him Frickstappen. So we're a new regional league here in Gauteng. We race at Swartkops, FK here, and Vereniging as part of the Gauteng region. So these are the guys. You talk to them.
All right. And you had a couple of breakdowns, somebody mentioned? Yes?
many breakdowns, but at least we're okay now. The third heat's going to be good.
Okay, so the kart is good, the emotions are good, we're feeling
Much
positive.
Absolutely better.
Okay, brilliant. So who's the winner out of the 5 of you? Who's
Me. Yeah.
Okay, so
Are we beating some of your masters? They're crying, hey?
love it. I love it. You're never too old to kart. We've got the Bambinos on at the moment. We'll be going from the oldest on the grid to the youngest on the grid. So back to Greg in the commentary box.
So here we go for the last time for DD2 Masters and Veterans. It's kind of been a 3-horse race here, although Jonathan Pieterse in the last one was certainly looking a little bit more dangerous, and is on the front row alongside Nick Verheul. Brits side by side there with, is that Felipe Chapat? Yes, it is. Behind that, it is Connor Hughes and Alistair Mingay, Fricky Cornelius and Jonathan Kairouz, Derek Joseph and Johan Kruger as they head down towards turn 1. Potential there for Verheul to get the whole shot, but Pieterse is going to make him work hard for it. As they go down into turn 2, into the dam section, it's Brits who moves up ahead of Pieterse out of turn 2 and up into second place behind Nick Verheul. A bit of a change up, and of course we had power issues here at the circuit in heat number 2, so hopefully not going to have the same here in heat 3, but the power issues or the power struggle at the front end is these 3 carts: Verheul, Brits and Pieterse. Chapat is still ahead there of Connor Hughes. Connor Hughes of course will be sitting 4th place in the Masters as they come through, and then we'll look to see if it's going to be Fricky Cornelius or Jonathan Kairouz who will be looking for 2nd and 3rd place in the veterans side of things. 5 Masters, 5 veterans going at it here for the 10 carts on track for the next 9 laps of action as they're going to complete the first one here in Anga. Just a shout out of course to a couple of guys who've joined us as well. Karen Joseph, Megan Grottis came in there as well, Amelia and Sonia Finnick. And in the pre-race area the carts are being rolled onto the line and onto the track to go to battle. Trying to make up some ground here as well, because as we know, or if you have been in Johannesburg and lived here for a long time, when that sun drops out the sky here in wintertime, it gets dark very quickly. And we've got this heat and 1 more to go, so we should be just in time before the big red ball drops out of the sun. Speaking of that red ball in the sky. Remember, we go to Red Star Raceway just down the road from here next weekend for Extreme Festival action. And a lot of the karters that were here today will be involved in that championship fights at the various categories next weekend down the road here in Dalmas, just outside of the province, of course, moving into Mpumalanga. As Verheul and Brits complete another lap and the halfway stage. It's only a tenth of a second there between Verheul and Brits. Peterson behind them, and it's Chapat in the 4th spot, still leading out from the Masters point of view. DD2 battle has been a good one, particularly between these two. Peterson was a lot closer in heat number 2. Might have gone for a slight change up in the settings on that kart, and it hasn't worked out for him here in the 3rd and final heat. Take nothing away from the action that we've seen though. Ooh, and they're starting to use some curbs again. It's always not the greatest thing to do on a kart. Can potentially cause some problems and some damage. Looking to do some damage though is Brits. Brits is all over the back of Verheul now, as we just reached the halfway stage, and he's now looking to try and put the pressure on a bit more. Verheul and Brits going at it here as they come across the line. And it's Nick Verheul, 0.174. It's now down to 900ths. 900ths of a second there between Verheul and Brits. Brits upping the work slightly, 105.9. Slightly quicker than the leader. So he definitely means business there, does Eugene Brits. CRG with the honours at the moment, Saudi on their tail. Bit of a gap down to the Tony kart in 3rd. Come out of the switchback section, Brits is putting the pressure on there. Has a go. Can he make it stick this time? He runs wide again, but he's on the inside line. And he's timed it to perfection this time. Gets through, new leader. Brits comes through, but here comes Verheul back at him. Through XPS. Nick Verheul had a big look, couldn't quite make it stick. So it's Brits at the front end. And he'll have 3 to go as they cross the line this time. Is this good timing from Eugene Brits' point of view? Is there still some time for Nick Verheul to come back at him? He puts his head behind the steering wheel, tucks down and heads down towards turn 1. And he's pulled 2 tenths. A little bit more of a margin there over Verheul than the 900ths he had at the start of the previous lap. 3 laps to go. Brits is at the front. What is Eugene Brits going to do now to try and keep Verheul at bay? Kart placement is vital. Oh, big move. Nick Verheul with a big move into the switchback and gets back to the lead. As he dives on the inside there of Eugene Brits. Brits going to try and come back at him at the last pass. No, not quite close enough, and not close enough on the brakes for the next turn. So out of 7 and 8, they've a little bit of a change up there. But he wasn't close enough to return the favour. Oh, there you go. Into XPS. This time he runs wide. It's a little bit hot. Too hot. Verheul comes back at him. He knew that was going to happen. Waits for the switchback. So Verheul and Brits going at each other. They've changed positions 4 times in the last 2 laps. And they're about to start their penultimate one. So can we see 4 more changes in these last 2 laps? That'll be cool. Jonathan Peterson saying, hang on a second, keep going guys, you're slowing down, and that's giving me a chance to get back at you. Verheul and Brits slowing each other ever so slightly, and giving Peterson a chance to have another whiff here. You can smell the blood in the water just up the road, but he's still got to get there. There's Brits into the switchback. On the inside line and hangs on to that inside line for the next part of the switchback. Gets through. So Brits is now up into the lead again, ahead of Verheul. Nick Verheul has seen where Brits is good. He knows where he can possibly get back at him. It might be here under braking. Brits sees it coming, shuts the door. He saw the attempt there from Verheul on the last pass and decided, no, not this time. So with a lap and 2 corners to go, Brits hanging on. Brits hangs on for now, but can he keep it all together for the next lap? There's only 1 more to go. It was 1.73, it's now 1.23. 0.123 of a second. 0.05 of a second gain there from Brits. How tight do you want it here in the last part and the last lap of DD2 Masters and Vets? Unbelievable race action here between Brits and Verheul. On the inside, has a look. Brits runs wide, he goes defensive into the switchback. He's not going to open up that door for Verheul. He hangs onto that inside line through the switchback as well. Nick Verheul's going to have to try something up into XPS or possibly into 5 and 6. Hits the curb coming out. Brits wrapping those curbs with the Mojo tires, giving them a little tattoo there as they came out. He goes defensive into XPS, not going to open up the door. Here comes Verheul though. Verheul trying to get the drive up to the top of the hill for the double right-hander. He has a big look into the double right-hander. Here comes Pieterse. Pieterse's now closed right in there. In with a chance here is Jonathan Pieterse. They head to the line. It's Brits from Verheul. And that's how it's going to finish up. Eugene Brits just coming through to beat out, and only just 0.05 of a second there between Brits and Verheul, and 0.3 further back was Pieterse. Tight battle, brilliant race action. Eugene Brits wins out the second heat of the 3 today. Nick Verheul takes one of them. So very interesting stuff in this championship heading to Idubi on the 15th to the 17th of July. That's going to be a very good battle down there between Brits, Verheul, Pieterse. I wonder if we'll see a couple of the Natal boys joining in there as well. The likes of Benjamin Hubig, possibly even Cristiano Morgado joining the pack here for the Masters and Veterans at their home circuit. That will be interesting to see.
Jack of a race day.
Before we move on to the DD2 Masters overall results, and then 6th position, Kart 104, Alistair Mingay. In 5th position, Kart 188, Connor Hughes. Connor Huggies. In 4th position, Kart 155, Philippe Chapat. In 3rd position, Kart 169, Jonathan Pieterse. In 2nd, Kart 101, Nick Verheul. And the winner for the day, 199, Eugene Brits. Right, again, results in 6th, 104 Alistair Mingay. In 5th, 188 Connor Huggies. In 4th, 155 Philippe Chapat. In 3rd, 169 Jonathan Peterson. 2nd, 101 Nick Verheil. And the winner, Eugene Brits, cart 199. Right, we also ran our DD2 Vets. That's a regional club class here in Gauteng as the invitational class for the day. In 3rd position, 165 Derek Joseph. A bit longer. Yeah. In 2nd position, cart 121 Frikkie Cornelius. And the winner for the day in the Vets class, 155 Philippe Chapat. Right, Derek Joseph, 3rd, Frikkie Cornelius, 2nd, and Philippe Chapat, our winner of the Vets class in DD2s.